sessions from Hosting to Transform really add to the art of hosting practice that is already here in the hub. I am a art of hosting practitioner for almost 8 years, more than 8 years now. And so I have a lot of depth and experience already in hosting, and the art of hosting is a quite serious way of facilitating meaningful conversations and meaningful processes. And I think this adds to it because playfulness and celebration should be part of community building, of community practice. And I think people actually connect around food, campfires, music and fun and playfulness. And I think this really adds to have a framework that really touches that base to bring some lightheartedness also in the serious business of changing the world.
We always assumed that we were very, very good at connecting members. Until after the first session I spoke to a few members and they told me about the number of people they'd met for the first time and the different experiences they've had. People discovered neighbors they never knew they had. People discovered they actually had similar interests. So this goes so far beyond anything that we even envisaged for where they'll connect. Because when we try and connect startups, we try and connect them on skills. This connects them at a human level. And I think that lasts a lot longer than transactional skill based associations. Host to Transform will or has already impacted a lot in how we look at facilitation. To the extent that we want our employees and myself trained to be better facilitators. Because we are in the space we are, we do tend to see at least one new startup every month and a few new employees every month. So that attrition ensures that we have to be on our toes and integrate them into the community. Because what we realize is that just having a common space, a common kitchen or a common lounge doesn't bring people together. There has to be a bit more than that, and that's what I feel Host to Transform brings to the picture. So Host to Transform, I don't feel is a region specific thing. The reason I say that is what the session focuses on and what the people are focused on are more fundamental human values. Of connections, we are all social creatures. We want to feel a connection to a fellow human being. And that's what it most importantly emerges, right? Even the session that we've had, people are from all over the world. There are Europeans, there are Americans, there are Indians from all over the country. And if all of these people can connect to each other, I think it proves that it's not a region-specific phenomenon.
I think Host to Transform Host to Transform was great because they came in and sort of merged, look, we can play these activities and these games and we can also achieve business goals and through that. So it's not like we're utilizing games, but also for sort of strategizing and achieving milestones for companies. Yeah. So it sort of grounded it in a way where my need for creativity and was being met with the needs of the entrepreneurs to, stay in business and succeed. Wow. And Host to Transform, I thought, when we did a workshop with them and brought the entrepreneurs together and began doing events around figuring out what people's needs were and how everybody could help meet those needs, I feel like I really found my niche. I was like, wow, working with entrepreneurs, but also facilitating ways for these entrepreneurs to figure out how to help each other, meet each other's needs, and also keep each other uplifted. I felt like that sort of began streamlining the kind of communities that I'm interested in building and how I want to build with those communities. I think the principles in Host to Transform could be valuable in any corporation and any organization.
The energy that was created, especially towards the end of the session, created an atmosphere where you just share your knowledge, share your social capital with other people. So I remember at the end of the session, we were asked to state a problem or a challenge we were working on that day. And I got 2 or 3 people that said, oh, I can help you with a camera, or I can help you build a website. So within 20 minutes after I arrived to work here, I had new contacts, and that was the, let's say, serendipity eye-opener I got that day. And afterwards I was hooked, I think, for my company, which has to do with helping startups grow. It's an ideal platform to meet new people, like-minded people, entrepreneurs. So most definitely I'll be coming back more and more to do these things, yeah.
So host to transform is exactly the idea of getting out of the building, right? Because as I said, when I'm creating a product, sometimes I get focused so much on what I need to get done that I don't take the time to talk to people. And especially when I first launched, this was a big thing for me. I wanted to see what people would think. And for me, especially more importantly, is when I tell people about the product, because I'm a technical guy, I'm terrible at this, at explaining the product. When I show them the product, then they're like, oh wow, you know, and so you see you see more than what they would tell you when you just explain it, and that reaction alone helps. So the host to transform session just fits into exactly that. When you get out of, basically we say the building, in this case we're still in the building, but basically get out of whatever I'm doing and talk to people. And I like that reaction when I show them the product, and they're excited about the potential that it offers. And so with Host to Transform, I met a bunch of people that I wouldn't probably go up to and talk to right away, but then you do get feedback from them. Yeah, that Host to Transform session, I met Mark Peter, and we got to talking about, okay, he was looking for an app developer for something that they were working on, and I said, well, I'm working on apps, so I can give you some tips or whatever. And I told him about my project, and so that's when he said, oh, we also do investment, and I kind of like this, so let's talk. And so yeah, we had 1 or 2 more meetings after that, and they all went really well. And so now he and his company have invested some money in the company to help us grow and then take it to the next level. But you are like doing everything on your own. And so thanks to the Host to Transform session, I now was able to spread that wider, because we have Mark Peter doing the investment. Thanks to him, I met some more people that we have in the team. And then I was able to brought in a few more people, because now you have more and more people, so they come together. So that's the transformation right there. You're right in a way that moment sort of kicked it off, because before that, I was on my own trying to do a bunch of stuff, and I was talking to people, but there was no gravity, right? Like there was one person, and now we're 5, and I'm probably looking to add some more.
Last 2 sessions, there's actually a couple of really interesting things. Wednesday we did this thing, I don't know, it was all new to me. It was like, I see this improvisation thing, which I already knew a bit, but then you switched it to like asking questions like problems in your career or in your entrepreneurship, and then somebody else gives the answer, and the third person gives the summary. So basically what happens is you shout out your problem and you just get all the answers. So it's like, wow, it's like improvisation, problem solving. There's a really nice structure how you do things, like how you can have like a really playful element, and it's like there is no sense, like I'm doing this for why, and then you just do it, and then you switch it very fast, and you get people to give really to get something out of the exercise and they give the answer themselves. So it's really playful, and then you actually turn the playful thing into something very useful, where people connect, and also they also give value to each other. And then after the session, we all are together and talking and connecting, and it's really a lot of value. And I really like how you structure it. Yeah, like when you're really thinking about things, how you can go on a more playful way to solve your problems, and also how to structure my life, or giving value to people as a group, how you can structure that better. That's what I really, that's the main thing I want to take away from it.
I think that the fitness for the mind and network, the whole concept is, I think it's really cool. I mean, we need more of it on a global scale. I mean, I've had the opportunity to live and work in, Europe, South America, as well as other continents, South Africa as well. And I don't see enough of people connecting, even at events where it's meant to be a co-working space and, you're going to go meet. No one does it. Like, you kind of just sit and you're like, hi, and it doesn't really go beyond that, like, let alone making the stretch. And unless you're of that kind of mindset, which is only limited to a very few select people that will go up to a stranger, then it needs to be facilitated. And that was one of the great things I saw about the fitness of the mind, the networking event that we just had, because literally I got to meet a guy that was from Brazil. He's trying to get citizenship in Italy, and he's here to do graphic design. He has an interesting story. I met someone else who traveled through India and was a freelance journalist, and I need some help with some content writing that I'm doing, and the graphic designer could perhaps, maybe I could help him get settled, because I used to live in Italy. So all of these things would never happen if it wasn't for a simple thing like a meeting like that. So I definitely want more of this to happen kind of across rooms, because even the so-called kind of working spaces aren't enough. You need a push, and this for me is that. I've got a different account that I used to use for work. It's got 5,500 friends. How many conversations do I have with these people on a regular basis? Oh my God, it's like good friends, less than 5. People I speak to, maybe 25. So yes, you need the face-to-face contact. And the interesting thing for me, being a digital nomad, is that sometimes I forget that. I spend a lot of time kind of in isolation, quote unquote, because I'm pursuing other interests. And today kind of made me realize that, oh wow, it's cool to just kind of meet people and be like, oh hey man, or hey, what's up, and just kind of talk. And the kind of connections you build far outweigh friending someone just on Facebook, or liking a post, or connecting them, or sending a connection request on LinkedIn, because then it's very much about what is the best strategy to approach you, and what have you done? And sometimes all it takes is a face-to-face meeting, being like, oh, hey, I'm Deepak, or hey. So that's really outweighs the value of, as you said, just kind of friending someone on Facebook. One of the greatest unspoken parts about entrepreneurship is the loneliness that's involved when you go and decide to beat your own path, and that you're on a track, but you're on a track that's kind of you work in silos, you work alone a lot of the time, and you grab bits of information here and there, but you're laying the tracks that's going to be kind of the railway that's for your own life. And this is stressful. I mean, we spend all this time in education and then the workplace being told what to do. So it's so nice and stress relieving to be able to meet people that are on that same journey as you. And it isn't just in a digital format. It's like, oh, hey, and that's something that, I feel, for example, that I miss a little bit. Like, there's things to be said about a kind of office environment, but where you have people that can share your struggle. And, I don't know, my mum always was like, a problem shared is a problem halved. And it's funny when you look back and you think, oh, wow, so she wasn't lying then. Like, it really is helpful to just talk to people about, this is my stuff. Can you help me with my stuff? Because everyone has their stuff. It's just a case of finding out what it is. So yeah, it was really great and stress relieving to be able to meet people face to face and just talk about our own problems.
Someone and then people
Oh,
respond to it.
absolutely not. Oh, so like little things, like we had you over for Host to Transform because we saw the potential of how the community can actually extract from your sessions. And trust me, I have never it was very surprising because I was not very sure of how people are going to respond, because now these guys are like the serious techie guys. They love their laptops.
The left
and
brainers.
yes, yeah, and they're like, they were like, for an hour, they do not want to waste time, and they don't like to. So they're very particular and very possessive about their time as well. So I was really concerned. I was like, oh my God, I'm trying this, but I'm just a little nervous at how they're going to respond, because most of them are really closed and shy. And, even though it's a community, they just usually just keep it to work. And we wanted the community to grow, and we saw the potential that Host Transform can actually have and the impact we have on the community. trust me, as soon as you left, Jessica, there were a few people came back and they were like, Sneha, let's just try to have more of these sessions. And I was like, you guys
That's so
enjoyed
cool.
it? Yeah, you guys enjoyed it? And they were like, we loved it. This is just like, it's helping us break the ice, and it's helping us understand, and it's helping us contribute to the community rather than just taking from the community. And we want to contribute too. And if we can, he's like, I didn't know, it was as simple as one of the guys came up and told me that, I sit in the next room of that guy for the past 6 months, and I just know him by his name, and I didn't know he can develop an app, and have been looking for a web app
And you're
developer.
sitting next to each other.
Yes, and I was like, what? So they were like, yeah, I didn't know he does that. Now I know it. And I'm like, awesome, we should then go and talk to him and get that. It's more about how you actually led the workshop. Like you said, it was never in the face. It was never forceful. It didn't push you to the uncomfortable zone where you were like a little eerie and you were like, oh my God, why am I here? I didn't sense that from anybody all throughout the session or even post session. They were just so comfortable, they were just so comfortable, and I'm like, wow, they can become comfortable with each other, and nobody's pushing them to do it. So it was a lovely experience. It was a great experience, and I think it did open a lot of doors for communications. In a way, people started talking to each other, people started addressing each other, people started, actually looking to each other for help. And, they would come up and they would contribute themselves, and they would be like, oh, Sneh, you know what? I know SEO very well. Do you want me to conduct a session? And I'm like, yeah, I saw you like a year back from you, and it's taken you 8 months to come up and tell me. But I'm glad that they came up and told me that. So it's great. It's the whole idea of them trying to take the ownership and trying to take the step towards contributing to the community or to each other. It's the communication has become more fluid, and it flows, it happens, so it's great. And post your session, everybody was so energetic. The whole day was so bubbly and so positive. Like I could see people like talking and wanting to share ideas, and wanting to make conversations, even debates for that matter. And they were just like, they were looking forward to the day. The whole transformation is what, when I say transformation, it's just from a day to day, when I'm trying to compare of how your workshop had an impact in them all through the day, and versus what was the next session like. It's for me, that was the best transformation that I could see, is that the community started, they just needed an icebreaker, and your session served the purpose. So it was gorgeous. Yeah.